Hey guys, it's me again, and today we're gonna talk about the reproductive system. So, first off, the reproductive system or the genital system is a system of sex organs within organism which work together for the purpose of sexual reproduction. Many non-living substances such as fluids, hormones, and pheromones are also an important assets to the reproductive system. So I've got questions to answer that will help us learn about the reproductive system. So question number one, describe the structure and explain the function of the male and female reproductive system. We'll start with the male first. So the male reproductive system consists of two major parts. The testis, where the sperm is produced, and the penis. So the penis and the urethra belong to both the urinary and reproductive system in males. The testes are carried in an external pouch known as the scrotum, where they normally remain slightly cooler than the body temperature to facilitate sperm production. And its function is to produce, maintain, and transport sperm, which is the male reproductive cells, and protective fluid, which is called the semen, to discharge sperm with the female reproductive tract during the sexual intercourse, and to produce and secrete male sex hormones responsible for maintaining the male reproduction. And for the female reproductive system, it includes the clitoris, the labia minora, and the labia majora, and Bartholin's glands. And the major internal organs of the family reproductive system includes the vagina and uterus, which acts as the receptacle for semen, and the ovaries, which produces the female ova, and the vagina is attached to the uterus through the cervix, while the fallopian tubes connect the uterus to the ovaries. And in response to hormonal changes, one ovum or egg, or more in the case of multiple births, is released and sent down to the fallopian tube during ovulation. And if not fertilized, this egg is eliminated, which causes menstruation or during menstruation. And its function is to enable sperm to enter the body and to protect the internal genital organs from infectious organism. So question 2, I will differentiate the asexual production and the sexual reproduction, the external and internal fertilization, and the direct and indirect development. So for the sexual reproduction, it just means the combining genetic materials from two parents or mating. For the asexual reproduction, it produces offspring genetically identical to one parent, which means it does not need to have four partners. And for the internal and external fertilization, so the internal takes place inside the female body, and the offspring develops there only. While for the external fertilization, the process happens outside of the body, that is in the external environment. And for the direct development, which is an embryo develops into a mature individual without involving a larval stage. And for the indirect development, it involves a sexually immature larval stage having different food requirements than adults. So for question number 3, describe the events associated with the human sperm and egg production and explain how hormones influence them. So the events associated with the egg production are oogenesis, in which the primary egg cell becomes a mature ovum and will help further develop when fertilized. The ovarian cycle, where the maturation of follicle and egg happens, influenced by follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. The menstruation cycle, which prepares the uterus for the fertilized egg, and the hormone estrogen and progesterone is involved in maintaining the uterus lining. While for the human sperm, there is a spermatogenesis, which is the production and maturation of sperm, also influenced by the follicle-stimulating hormone, which triggers the Sertoli cells to release androgen-binding protein, or the ABP, and luteinizing hormone that triggers the Leydig cells to release testosterone. Then the testosterone binds with the ABP to basically produce the sperm, and the spermiogenesis, which is the final stage for the spermatogenesis. And question 4, they describe the events in human fertilization until childbirth, particularly the appearance of sex differences and what triggers them. So fertilization is the process in which haploid gametes fuse to form a diploid cell, called a zygote. To ensure that each zygote has the correct number of chromosomes, only one sperm can fuse with one egg. And the stages of human development is stage 1, the zygotic stage. The zygote is formed when the male gamete, which is the sperm, and the female gamete, which is the egg cell, is fused. Stage 2, is the blastocyst stage, where the single cell zygote begins to divide into a solid ball of cells. Then it becomes a hollow ball of cells called a blastocyst, attaching to the lining of the mother's uterus. The stage 3 is the embryonic stage, which is the major internal organs and external features begin to emerge, forming an embryo. In this stage, the heart, brain, and spinal cord becomes visible, arms and legs are starting to develop. And then the fetal stage, where once the formed features of the embryo begin to grow and develop, the organism is considered a fetus. Differentiation and specialization of structures happens during this time. So sex differences. A chromosome from the sperm cell, either X or Y, fuses with the X chromosome in the egg cell. And question number 5. I will explain how contraceptives prevents pregnancy. So they work by stopping sperm from joining with an egg, which is called the fertilization. The hormones in the pill stop ovulation. This thicker cervical mucus blocks the sperm so it can swim into an egg, kind of like a sticky security guard. And number 6, I will give examples of sexually transmitted infections: the herpes, the chlamydia, the genital warps or the human papillomavirus or the HPV, the gonorrhea, the hepatitis B, the syphilis, the trichomoniasis, and the HIV, which causes AIDS. So I think that is all for the reproductive system. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next time.